Paul Carey and David Schoenberg. Hello, Paul.
Hello, David.
What have we got on the table today?
Wine.
Yes, and these have a label that looks very similar.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to do something a little fun today.
Okay. Not like last time.
No, yeah, because this is never fun.
didn't work at
Drinking
all.
is never fun. We're going to do a flight of wines from the same producer.
Okay.
Now, what's interesting about doing this, because first of all, I've never tried them.
Okay.
Okay. You haven't either.
No, we did pre-drink a little before we started recording.
Well, that's a given.
But
Not in the parking lot this time, though. They told us to stop doing that. So we drank indoors.
and we put our shirts on. Too.
Yeah, it was getting kind of cold. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna try these wines, and we're at a stage now where we're gonna be able to judge them.
Okay.
So what I mean by judging them, for example, our first wine's gonna be a Sauvignon Blanc.
Right.
Right. Second wine is going to be Chardonnay.
Right.
Now, these wines are all from California, and they're all from, in my opinion, probably the top producing area in California, which is Napa Valley.
Right. 'Cause California's huge.
Huge. But Napa produces some of the most elegant wines that you can possibly imagine.
Expensive wines too.
That's why I like this.
Okay.
That's why I like this, and that's why I want to kind of see how this fares out, because these wines are all around $20.
Right.
Okay, which we're gonna see if they live up to the hype.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
because the bar's pretty high here.
To come from Napa.
Yeah, the bar's pretty high. So what we're gonna look at is we're gonna look at the wines individually to see if their flavor profile and their taste and everything are all there and all in check, and see what we think of them.
Okay. Very good.
How's that sound?
Sounds like a great idea.
You look thirsty, Dave.
Yeah, I know.
You look thirsty.
So the producer is called Bread and Butter.
Bread and Butter,
Which is
yeah.
a great name for any sort of a company that makes anything, really.
Yeah, I like it. It's catchy. B&B. It's you can remember it. It's
Yep.
yeah. I mean, it slides off the tongue.
Yeah.
And it kind of makes you hungry.
Yes, it does. And at least thirsty.
So why don't we try the first one? It's a Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
Again, retail price here is about $19.95. I'm looking at the color, and that's an atypical color for a Sauvignon Blanc. So not sort of a pale to medium yellow color, sort of indicating, I'm guessing more than likely most of the fermentation and the aging of this was probably done in stainless steel.
Okay.
So
You
they
can
don't.
tell that by looking at the color.
Yeah. And
Stainless steel.
that they usually do that with Sauvignon Blanc because they don't want to impede too much oaky characteristics to the wine, because Sauvignon Blancs traditionally should be acidic, should be crisp. They don't want to mess around with that. I'm getting more sort of melon, kiwi, grapefruit, lemon,
Yeah.
all in there.
Melon for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when you sip it, do you get fresh cut grass and lemon lime more?
I get a lot of acidity, which is going to promote a lot more of those lemon. I find them very lemony on the finish.
Yep.
Really, really lemony.
Oh yeah, late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. It's in balance. It's what a Sauvignon Blanc should be.
Yeah.
If I was rating this blind, I would definitely high score rate this. And again, from Napa Valley at $19.95, that's a definite buy, at least 2, possibly 3 bottles. Yeah, at least. Yeah, definitely
3.
something you want on hand. I'm looking at this. Seafood.
Okay.
Seafood would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Fettuccine Alfredo with grilled chicken.
Right.
Another thing that would just complement this. Also, I'm picking up hints of lemon and grass here.
Yeah.
So a lot of Thai foods would be fun to pair with this wine.
And is it the acidity that you're thinking of, or
If-
for the seafoods and the Italian type dishes? Because we know Italian foods are tough to pair. Like they're great when
can
you
be,
find it
yeah,
with wine,
yeah.
but it can be hard to find the right one.
A lot of times you're going to notice whether it's white or red,
Yeah.
the wines usually have a pronounced acidity to match up with the styles of food.
Yeah.
This will also be great with creamy cheeses.
Ah,
Because with that acidity, it'll cut right through the creaminess of the cheese
Right.
and soften up the wine a little bit at the same time, like the cheese actually
yeah,
that we're
we
trying
like the
right
cheese that we have sitting right here. What are the chances that we have some creamy cheese? And we were pre-tasting a little bit, and it got more lemon. I found more lemon came out with a little bit of creamy cheese in this wine.
now. Yeah, no, the pairing was fantastic. Again, the wine scored on all levels. Very happy. 2 thumbs up on this one. Mm-hmm. I'm liking it. Yourself, what do you think?
I found the creamy cheese brought more lemon.
Okay.
If anything, what we would say a traditional Sauvignon Blanc would be, it was food that made it feel more traditional. But Sauvignon Blanc with food is kind of an easy pairing, I think, right? Like
It goes with a lot.
yeah, and it's that acidity that just sort of works.
Yeah, yeah.
But I found, again, still no cut grass, but more lemon with food.
Yeah, I agree. It was great. Let's move on to the Chardonnay.
Yeah, that's what this is.
So bread and butter Chardonnay. Now, traditionally, again, Napa Valley is complex because depending on where you're growing in the valley, there's a big influence from the sea, big time, lots of wind. So you can have patches in Napa that are much cooler, some areas that are much warmer. So the winemakers will sort of determine in the cooler areas, for example, that's where you'd want to be planting your Sauvignon Blanc.
Yeah.
Warmer areas, traditionally, where the season's going to go a little bit longer, you're going to plant your Chardonnays because you want the real ripe fruit. Now, you look at the color of this one compared to the Sauvignon Blanc, and you can tell right off the bat, you've got more of a medium colored yellow there. To me, before I even nose it, it's indicating that it's probably seen some oak aging. In other words, the oak will influence the color of the wine and make it a little bit deeper.
Yeah, it's more
color.
golden. The other one's clear. This is
Brilliant, though. Clear, brilliant,
yeah.
just beautiful. On the nose,
Now Chardonnay. So when we think about a Chardonnay, butter is always the easy term that anybody uses to describe what a Chardonnay is.
Yeah.
It's buttery. That's not what I got on there.
no, buttery can be attributed to 2 things. Number one, a vinification process called malolactic fermentation.
Delicious.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't say that after a bottle of wine.
Okay.
Not even going to happen.
Right. But after
A couple of sips, I'm still okay. That's a process where they're going to actually soften the wine.
Okay.
So the introduction of yeast and bacteria, and it's a whole process that they do. That will give a buttery aroma and taste to the wine. The other thing that can give the perception of the butter is the type of oak that they use when they're aging. Okay, the wine. So if you're using a new American oak barrel as an example, it imparts a lot of vanilla, a lot of butter, and a lot of toffee characteristics. Now, when I smell this, I agree with you. I'm not getting butter as much as I'm getting butterscotch. So there's a lot more butterscotch, and I'm also getting a lot of sort of Macintosh apple in this wine.
And caramel. Like a lot of caramel. So it's if somebody was to hand this to me and say what kind of a wine is this, I wouldn't have said Chardonnay. I would certainly say delicious, but not at all what I would think Chardonnay would taste like.
Where a lot of Chards, I think, fall out of grace with people, in my opinion, is when that overly buttery and overly caramel takes the wine over completely, the acidity and the balance of the wine tend to flatten.
Right.
And that's not what you want. You want the wine to still have a certain structure to it. This does.
Yeah.
This, to me, like on the finish, I almost got a little bit of sort of a citrusy finish because the acidity was like pretty pronounced. I was like, wow, this all of a sudden went from an atypical warm climate Chardonnay to almost a Burgundian style Chardonnay, which is like a Chablis, crisper, more green apple.
The region of France.
Yeah,
right?
more traditional style Chardonnay. I'm looking at this wine and I'm thinking to myself, salmon, maple crusted salmon
Okay.
would be fantastic with this. This is something that the pairing would just work off each other so well.
Right.
I'm also thinking anything really that had a sort of a puff pastry kind of thing. Chicken a la king.
Okay.
Something like that. Something traditional, something kind of cozy and warm. This
Yeah.
would be a fantastic wine. And I'm also thinking this style of wine is full enough. I could see drinking it on its own, honestly.
Well, that's what we've been doing.
Yeah,
That
well-
we're rapidly getting through the glass. Now, with the creamy cheese on this one, how did that change it?
So for me, I found it paired well with the cheese. I found the cheese actually brought out more acidity to the wine, kind of cut through the sort of creaminess of the wine, and the cheese brought out a little bit more acidity, which was nice because the wine was very palate cleansing.
Yeah.
It wasn't as heavy. It wasn't so, so you could kind of go, oh, geez, that's working very. I think I'll have some more cheese and some more wine now. Yeah.
Exactly. I found with the cheese the caramel disappeared, but sort of an almond flavor came out.
Yeah. So the flavors changed with the introduction of the food, but nothing went off balance. Everything sort of stayed firm. So for me, these both wines, I give them 2 thumbs up. Again, this one, $19.95.
Yeah.
For a Napa Valley Chard,
Yeah.
again, you'd be hard pressed not to buy at least 2-3 bottles of this. This would be definitely something you want in your cellar.
Excellent. All right, we'll leave it right there. Paul Carrier, thank you.
Welcome, Dave.
And these have been the Bread and Butter Sauvignon Blancs and Chardonnay. I'm David Schellenberg.